Hello everyone and welcome to the Sports Sit-Down. My name is Sunay and today I'm joined by Kiran Costa. We're going to get right to it and we're going to start talking about our topics that we're going to talk about today. First we'll talk about the Astros cheating scandal because they have been exposed. Then we're going to talk about the Western Conference and the Clippers and the Lakers and the NBA and who will make it out. And then third we're going to talk about our three things, and then after that we're going to end with a little bit of NFL with the Cowboys and the Eagles, and of course Tom Brady and where will he end up, because the NFL offseason is just 2 weeks away. All right, so let's get started. We're going to start with the Houston Astros and the MLB, who have been caught with the cheating scandal. They've used signs, the pitching signs, monitors in the dugout, and cameras to monitor what the catcher and the pitcher are doing in order to give them an advantage. It's very unfair, and the whole MLB is caught on it. It's even spread to the other leagues like the NBA and the NFL, where players are calling out on them. Cheating in any sport is not acceptable, point blank. So in response, Commissioner of the MLB, Rob Manfred, has decided to punish them, kind of, sort of. So Rob Manfred has taken away the first round, second round picks of next few years, and then a $5 million fine. And lastly, but the biggest thing is that their manager and GM have been suspended, and they later got fired. Take this punishment as you will. A lot of people are not happy and satisfied with this punishment. Unfortunately, Rob Manfred is getting a lot of heat. Do the Astros deserve more punishment, Kiran, or is Rob Manfred doing the right thing?
Of course they deserve more punishment. I wouldn't even call it they got a punishment. Like, every single GM in the league will trade away 4 draft picks, $5 million, their GM and manager, for a World Series title. Every GM in all of sports will do that.
Yeah.
That $5 million on paper to the regular person sounds like a lot, but that's nothing to an MLB franchise.
Especially when the salary cap is
Especially when the salary cap is so high. $5 million is absolutely nothing. They've made it to the postseason the last 4 years, and so there's $5 million right there for them to give away 4 draft picks. Yes, 4 draft picks is quite a few draft picks, but they didn't lose any players, so they're still a young team, and these 4 draft picks will not really affect them. And losing their GM and general manager is a blow, and I think Jim Crane did do the right thing to fire them immediately. They will not be coming back to that organization, and I don't think A.J. Hinch will be fired by any team after his 1-year suspension's up. But, of course, that's not enough. They cheated and completely changed the course of the 2017 season and postseason, and they affected the careers of many young players. Like, if you were a AAA, like an older AAA player in the Astros system, and you're trying to get your chance, you're never going to be called up, as the players, as the starting lineup for the Astros would not change, as they were all cheating. And now the Astros are being sued by Mike Bolsinger, whose last start in the MLB was against the Astros. He got lit up for 6 runs in just a couple innings, and he was called down to the minors and never made it back up.
Wow.
And he is now suing the Astros, saying that changed the course of his career.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no question. I actually did not know that story. That is.
The Astros are also being sued by their season ticket holders. The season ticket holders are saying the World Series championship they went to see and the money they spent was for a fake product, as the Astros were cheating and not genuinely playing every game.
You know, I mean, I'll go back to your first story. That's a terrible story with the pitcher who, well, I guess eventually will lose his job and not even have an opportunity. That angle I actually did not consider at all. That's a very interesting angle to look at it from that perspective. But kudos to the fans. I mean, I wouldn't expect the fans to do something like that, to actually criticize their team especially during a championship year, especially during a year that meant so much, because I know Houston doesn't win that much. So it was it's very interesting because Astros went from the bottom to the top. I remember years when they had the #1 pick.
And they took Correa, Bregman, Altuve, all those players homegrown from the draft.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they make it up to the rise. But, I think they might have made it without the cheating. I feel like they were a good enough team.
I completely agree. I think that 2017 Astros team was maybe the best baseball team of the decade, or at least a top 3 World Series championship team. But looking back, do we say that? Yes, looking back, we think they're a great team, but were those players just great because they cheated?
No, I think that's the question that's going through everyone's mind.
Because, yes, we say, of course, the raw talent was there. Like Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa are 3 ridiculously good baseball players. But at this point, we don't know how long they've been cheating and how long they've just been playing with their natural talent.
Well, I mean, the Astros were I always looked at as a team that was up and coming and young, and this kind of came out of nowhere. I think we got a hint maybe last season a little bit. Someone released a video of them banging on their dugout for a changeup or whatever, but I don't think anyone expected it to go this far. Do you think the championship should get taken away from 2017? A lot of people are calling for that. I know LeBron James had a tweet that said, take it away. He's not even from baseball, but that's what it's gotten to, that players are calling them out. But yeah, do you think the championship should get taken away?
I think it's very, very hard to take away an MLB championship, pretty much because of what we were just talking about. They, in all likelihood, could have won that World Series without cheating. And it's so hard to fully take away and say there is no 2017 World Series championship. That's a very controversial move that Rob Manfred could make. But I don't think you can take away the World Series championship.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you can because,
as a Yankees fan, I would love for them to take away the championship. And I think the Yankees would have had a very good shot at winning. The Yankees were 1 game away in 2017 to winning the championship, lost to the Astros at home.
I just feel bad for the teams who competed and went, like the Yankees, like the Dodgers, who, a little bit, I feel, I'm happy the Dodgers
and every
lost,
team, and every team who played at Houston that year.
Yeah. The championship, that's a little too much. But, the thing is that Rob Manfred is getting a lot of heat. He was looked at as one of the up-and-coming, one of the best commissioners in all pro sports, and now it's kind of flip-flopped, where we look at him as is this guy really a good commissioner?
Manfred's put in a tough spot here because he's in the middle of a battle between the MLB and the Players Association. And that will all come together next year. So it would have been very hard for him to put a huge punishment on the Astros with everything going on between the CBA and the MLB right now.
But to me, here's what I think Manfred has to do. Here's what I propose if I'm Manfred, okay? The punishment, I think what you said was spot on. It's not enough. If I'm an Astros player, what have I learned? Okay, I'm getting my draft picks taken away and my manager fired. Fine, I still think we're capable. We have Dusty Baker. We're still capable without our old manager and general manager. I think what the Rob Manfred should do, he still has to do something, and I feel like what he should do is tell the Astros, okay, this year, if you make the playoffs, you're not making the playoffs. You're out of playoff contention. We're gonna put you out of the playoff contention.
How?
You're playing the season for nothing, and I think that will make the Astros understand that this is not good.
What if they win the West? They just give it to the second.
They just give it to the second place team. That's what the effect is. I don't think you can take away, but you have to do something.
That's a gutsy move right there.
You have to do something to the Astros. This is basically nothing. You haven't taught the team anything. You're just saying, okay, that was fine. That's a mistake. Move on. But you have to make them pay somehow for it.
So you're saying, in theory, they should just suspend the Astros for the 2019 or the 2020 season?
Yeah. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's going to help them understand that this is not.
I think that's going too far.
Thing.
But I agree that the punishment Rob Manfred gave will not stop other teams from doing it.
Yeah, and the other thing we were talking about earlier is that the players are going to get injured because they're going to get hit by the pitch a lot during the season.
Yeah, and another thing on that about what the players did specifically. So how this all unfolded is at the end of just a few days after the World Series, unconfirmed reports came out, pretty much detailing the scandal that became that we all know now is true. But at that point, there was unconfirmed reports, and every single Astros player went to their friends around the league and said, "Hey guys, we didn't do it. These reports are untrue." And so friendships were ruined from Astros players to the MLB.
It's a very interesting time in the MLB, but now let's move on to the other league that is going on right now, the NBA. Where we're just past the midpoint of the season. The All-Star game just finished, and we're at the point where we're kind of deciding what team will make it out of the West, the Clippers or the Lakers. I think it should go through LA, or maybe there could be a surprise team with the two seed or the 4 seed could come out the Southwest Division as well. Who do you think is going to make it out of the Western Conference, the Clippers or the Lakers?
I think it is going to come out of LA, and I think it's going to be the Clippers. So the Clippers are the 3 seed, which will I think the Western Conference Finals will be Clippers versus Lakers. The Clippers and Lakers have played twice out of the 4 times this season. Clippers winning big early in the year. That was without Paul George. And the Clippers win in a closer game Christmas Day. But both those games, the Lakers just looked outmatched. I think if it comes down to a 7-game series, which I think it will, I think Western Conference is Battle of LA, Clippers versus Lakers. I think the Clips make it through. Paul George and KD and Kawhi, beg your pardon. They still haven't played that much together. Like, even after he's come back, load management. I think the last month of the year, they're going to be playing a lot together. And by the time they get to the Western Conference Finals, they're going to be a completely gelled one unit. I think they make it out of the West.
You know, the question is, it's so baffling to me because the Clippers are a great team on paper. But if you really look at their record and what like yesterday they lost to the Sacramento Kings with a full healthy team.
Clippers are 37-19 at the moment.
And we did not expect them to have 19 losses at this point in the season. It's still good, but it's not good considering the talent they have. And Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Montrezl Harrell, Lou Williams, the best two two-way players and the best 2 bench players. I mean, that's a solid four-player combo.
and like I can't guarantee it's going to be the Clippers. Like the Lakers right now are 42-12 and have a 6-game lead on the Clippers. I honestly did not see them being this good in the first AD LeBron year.
You know, and I think that's where we might have to ask, because I think the Clippers are built to beat the Lakers, but are the Clippers built to beat other teams? They could be in a situation where they get tested in the first round or the second round. Actually, I think if the seedings are the way they are today, it might be that we might see the Clippers and the Lakers in the second round of the playoffs. But I think the Clippers could be in a situation where they get tested 6 games or 7 games.
And I think there's like 4 very strong teams in the West right now.
True.
We have Clippers and Lakers, of course. The Nuggets are the 2 seed. They have a better record than the Clippers right now by only 1 game. And then the Rockets, still a very strong team.
Without a center.
Without a center, as they lost Capella to the Hawks. But they still have Westbrook and Harden, 2 amazing players right there.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Rockets and their system. I think it's exciting, but I don't know if the Nuggets are
interesting team.
Are a very intriguing team. They're very much like the Clippers, as they're deep. They have their two-way player threats. The Nuggets are a very interesting team, but Clippers, Lakers, I feel like it's gonna come down to neck and neck in terms of what it is. But in a 7-game series, that is time to relax, get your popcorn and watch that, because that is going to be a great series.
Yeah, but I think the one thing that I took away from what you said is the Clippers are built to beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
Like when those teams match up, the Clippers have the advantage in more of the categories. And I think when it comes down to a 7-game series, yes, LeBron is something else in the postseason, but I think the combination Kawhi and Paul George can take the Clippers out of LA.
I think a lot of people have the argument that LeBron is amazing in the postseason, but who is the one player that the Clippers have? The LeBron stopper, Kawhi Leonard himself. So I think if you look at it in that way, the Clippers and Lakers don't really match up equally, especially since the Clippers have gotten the players that they have gotten in the trade deadline.
At the deadline, yeah.
It's going to be very interesting to see. But I think the Lakers will probably end up at the top of the conference when the season ends. All right, let's move on to three things now. We have Wilder, Fury, dunk contest robbery, and then should Steph Curry return to the floor? Okay, so yesterday was the Wilder and the Fury fight in Las Vegas. Tyson Fury, who was sort of an underdog, won yesterday in the boxing match. Second dunk contest, Dwayne Wade decided to give a 9 out of 10 to Aaron Gordon, even though he should have won the dunk contest. He jumped over 7-5 taco fall, and that was an amazing dunk contest. Aaron Gordon got robbed. And then third, Steph Curry is going to return to the floor. Yesterday it was announced that he's going to return to the floor in the first week of March 1st, after his broken hand injury. It's interesting because I think people are split down 50-50, where the Warriors organization is set to say that Steph Curry should return to a 12-win Golden State Warriors team, because at this point they're not making the playoffs, and they're really going for the #1 pick. That's the only thing you have, and maybe Andrew Wiggins' development. Those are the only two things you really have to look forward to as a Warriors fan. And then the other side is that Steph Curry might get injured again, so there's a risk for that. Kiran, what is the thing you want to talk about?
I'm going to talk about Steph Curry returning to the Warriors. I think it's way too early, and based on everything you say, why? Like, I don't see one reason except tune up for next season for him to play and for him to maybe get chemistry with Andrew Wiggins, but I see no reason. They are 16 games out of the 8th seed and 31 games out of the 1 seed, so they're not making the playoffs. They are almost mathematically eliminated. Of course, re-injury is a factor when you get back on the NBA court and you're in a live game situation. So there's really no reason at all for him to come back.
I would say the angle the Warriors are taking
and especially this soon. Maybe let him play the last 2 weeks of the year, just to get back into live action. He only played 1-2 weeks of this season before getting hurt.
3 games, yeah.
He played 3 games. Maybe give him some live action before next year.
Yeah.
I say bring him back for the last 2 weeks or don't bring him back at all.
I think the other thing that people are not, it kind of could go over, I'm just going to give a little rebuttal to that point. They still have the Olympics, and Steph Curry has said he's going to play in the Olympics. So that's probably your live action that you're going to get. So it's not even that he needs action on the court. I'm just giving the other side to your point. It's just something interesting to consider, because he's going to play in the summer with the Olympic team.
So you think they should just shut him down?
I don't know about that. I mean, I'm obviously for the competition. If he feels like he wants to play, he can play.
But I mean, you're a Warriors fan, right?
I would love to see them, yes, and I would love to see them get the #1 pick.
Exactly.
With Steph Curry.
As a Warriors fan, you don't want Steph Curry to come back.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about Wilder and Fury, which was a really exciting fight. It was really hyped, and we saw the two best boxing fighters in the ring, both undefeated, really, really skilled. That was just a great fight by Tyson Fury. I mean, he came out knocking right away, and Wilder just didn't use his right hand and throw that punch where he needed to, and he got technical knockout. It was a great fight, great hype around it. It was really fun to watch for me. All right, we're going to move on to our last discussion here, as we have just under 10 minutes remaining. The Cowboys and the Eagles are two interesting teams to talk about. We'll talk about that later. But first, let's move on to the free agency, because Tom Brady could end up on the Cowboys, and that could change the whole scenario about the Eagles and the Cowboys rivalry. But Tom Brady is really a prized free agent. It's so curious to see where he could end up. Some people say New England, some people say Tennessee, some people say the Cowboys, some people say the Raiders. It's really all over the map, and they're trying to figure out We definitely know he's not happy with New England, because if he was happy with New England, he would have said he was going to re-sign right after they lost in the playoffs, or he would have given some indication that he's going to re-sign. He hasn't yet. He's still keeping his options open. So, Kieran, where will Tom Brady sign?
I think he stays in New England. I don't see him at his age. I think at this point, money is no problem for Tom Brady and the next 5 generations of Bradys. But so I think he wants to win a championship. And out of the 4 teams you mentioned, I think New England honestly has the best shot at winning a championship.
Out of Raiders, Cowboys,
Titans. I think staying in New England, when he signs, they will add some more weapons, maybe a wide receiver, a tight end. I honestly think he's going to stay. I think it would be too hard for him to restart in a new place. Yeah. I think he stays in New England.
I'll also add 2 more teams to that list, the Chargers and the Buccaneers. Adam Schefter is actually reporting that the Chargers are really closely linked to Tom Brady, which is interesting.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know. I don't see him going to the Chargers. But okay, I think the Chargers' only shot at him is a ridiculous amount of money at this point.
Well, I think they're gonna pay. If it's Tom Brady, they're gonna pay him anywhere he goes. But when Adam Schefter, who is the best NFL reporter, arguably, when he comes out, and he's a very credible guy, when he comes out and says something like that's you might want to think,
but I mean,
rethink that he's going.
Closely linked is something, but playing somewhere for the first 15 years of your career, he's also very closely linked to New England Patriots.
But I don't know if the Patriots have enough offensive talent. They're going to need to get a wide receiver, a tight end, offensive lineman. 3 things that are going to take a lot of money, and they're going to take a lot of risks. So Patriots are going to have to be very smart. Now, it's the Patriots, so they're probably capable. But yeah, I would agree with you.
No, but yeah, and also the Patriots. Let's say they sign Brady for I think it's gonna be another 1-year deal, option at the end. Let's say they sign Brady and they use up all their money on a lineman, a receiver, and a tight end, right?
Yeah.
And the scenario is they make it to the playoffs, and they don't win, and Brady retires. So here after this, they're stuck with a 25th round pick with the 25th pick and no money to spend, and that's the risk they're gonna have to take with paying for the weapons around Brady.
Yeah,
that's a risk I'm afraid to take as a Patriot.
That's a good point, because in the playoffs, now that Patrick Mahomes has established himself as Patrick Mahomes, I think we might be seeing a dynasty where I don't know if Brady can beat
Mahomes or even Lamar in the playoffs.
Yeah. So that's a good point there. All right, our last discussion is a classic Cowboys-Eagles rivalry. He's a Cowboys fan, those who don't know, and I'm an Eagles fan. So we're just going to debate here for a few minutes. Who's the better team, the Cowboys or the Eagles? I'll let you go first, because I think I can.
We're coming out of the division no matter what. Okay, so it's Giants are a non-factor next season. Giants have a future. Giants are going to be very good in 3 years, but next year, no. Redskins also are a young team, but next year, no. So it's pretty much going to come down to, as it has the last couple of years, Eagles or Cowboys.
In the NFC least, as people are calling it.
Yes, we did not make it last year. I will admit that. We lost in a huge game against the Eagles. We had one game, winner wins the division. You guys won the division. Congratulations. You lost to the Seahawks by like 20 and got destroyed.
8 points. 1 possession game.
Josh McCown's not a very good quarterback.
Yeah, because Carson Wentz got injured.
Yeah, okay. Results, not excuses. No, okay. Let's go through every skill position. We're a better team. Dak Prescott's better than Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Really? No, okay. Zeke Elliott's better than Boston Scott or Jordan Howard.
I'll give you that.
You guys you don't have any good running backs.
I'll give you that.
Boston Scott's not a starting running back, and he started the last 5 games this season. Wide receiver core, we have a better wide receiver core. Randall Cobb's a free agent. We have Amari Cooper, Witten, Schultz is actually a good backup tight end.
Stanford
Michael
product.
Gallup.
Yeah.
And you, to put it mildly, your receivers have had some trouble catching the football.
Yeah, we did.
Our linebacker core is amazing. Tyron Smith, Leighton Vander Esch. We have DeMarcus Lawrence on the line. Our offensive line, Zach Martin, Pro Bowl center. I don't know what to say. Every single position we're better. Coach.
Yeah.
You have Doug Peterson's probably better than Mike McCarthy.
Super Bowl winner.
Mike McCarthy's also Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson's a more recent Super Bowl coach and made the playoffs. I agree with you. The Dallas has better skill positions in every position, but what has that amounted to? Did it amount to any playoff win? No playoffs, no playoff wins, no Super Bowl wins in the last
wins.
One against the Seahawks last year.
And then we came very close against the Rams.
Yeah,
very close against the Rams.
But there's no Super Bowl win with Dak Prescott. I think to me the difference is, in seriousness, it's between Dak Prescott and Wentz. When Dak Prescott has all these weapons around him, you would expect him to make the playoffs, but he just hasn't performed. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not actually going to talk trash and say that the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. I'll just let the season.
You know they're not. They're not.
I'll just let the season
do the talking.
You're looking
at the past. You're looking at the past. The problems in the past. I'm looking in the future.
I think the Eagles have a brighter future with Carson Wentz at center than Dak Prescott. But I will just let the season do the talking because I, unlike the Cowboys, do not have a tendency to trash talk and blow my season away. Okay, we're going to move on to another rivalry. Last topic here. With the the Dodgers and the Yankees, two other MLB teams that are strong and ready to go for this season. They both have signed players in this offseason. They've done an excellent job of getting the players that they want, star players. The Dodgers just got Mookie Betts and David Price, and the Yankees are already stacked and they got Jarrett Cole this offseason. Who is going to make it out of, or who is going to win?
Okay, I think Dodgers and Yankees both win their respective leagues. The Yankees, oh my goodness, are looking very, very good. Garrett Cole, Masahiro Tanaka, Luis Severino, one of the best 1, 2, 3 in the game. Cole, I think, is going to have an amazing season. And then Gleyber Torres had an amazing year last year. I think he's going to follow that up with a better year. The Yankees were decimated with injuries last year. Judge missed time. Stanton missed most of the year. Andujar missed the whole year. Severino missed most of the year. I think Andujar, he's going to be a big factor when he returns. But I think what it's going to come down to is the right fielder battle. Aaron Judge and Mookie Betts. We've been talking about this so much as it's the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. Now that Betts is on the Dodgers, he's been tearing up the Yankees for a while.
All right. That does it for our show. We're out of time. I'm Sunay and Kiran, your host, and that's Kiran Costa. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Thank you.